Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly shop steward today, because today we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition, Paizo's outstanding fantasy RPG, played in our custom setting of the Spires of Paridar, a Coalpunk setting of Dickensian disparity, industrial progress, and occult conspiracy. So, with me today are the stars of the Spires of Paridar campaign. This is part 2 of our newest mystery, the Patchwork Pauper. I'll go the order I've got everyone on the screen here. Why don't you guys tell us who you are and who you're playing. First up, we've got James.
Right, I'm James, and I'm playing Sally Dumaire, the technologically challenged Azar-Katie monk.
Is it her who is technologically challenged, or is her play?
No, it's me.
Next up is Ingolf.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ingolf. I'm playing Basil Rathbone, who is an Isoki detective, red folk, as they say.
Nice. And last but certainly not least is Darren.
Darren here. I'm playing Dr. Adam Ersprung, who is the resident doctor in his new clinic, and he's got his trusty sidekick, Igor.
Very nice. All right, guys, so as I mentioned, this is part 2 of, or chapter 2, I should say, of the Patchwork Pauper mystery. What happened last time, guys?
It was pretty busy last time, actually. The doctor's set up in setting up his new clinic with a new addition, Sanford Risewell.
Yep.
So that was going on. Sally met up with Daphne Lagrange to discuss Golag's new admirer. It was one of the things they discussed.
Yeah.
With the paintings. So the group did a visit to Vesta King, who seems to be somewhat besotted with Golag for some reason, and been painting these rather strange-looking paintings that seem to have some sort of evil presence and something going on about them. We managed to take one of those away for further investigation by Golag, probably. Basil was busy meeting up with a strange new young patchwork child that he met after receiving a coin, which we assume came from the Whisker Network, but we're not sure.
Well, and of course the Whisker Network doesn't exist, so...
Yeah, no one knows where it come from, or what that might be about. What else happened? I also the doctor met up with Father Hezekiah, who kindly offered to come and sort of cleanse the new clinic at Barrowhead after all the evil summoning, etc., that had gone on there. Yeah. Oh, we did actually spot the owl and the raven once again right at the end, spying on us, or assume spying on us. I don't know if there's anything else I missed.
I think that's a good summary.
Yeah.
And I think I'm actually with Daphne try to drum up some more
charity.
More people for the charity ball.
Perfect. So then, where would we like to start our session then? We're going to pick up right from... Oh, and when you guys were dropped off, do you recall who the observers were looking in on you?
I'm sorry, I did not just get what you said. So the observers is Owl and the Raven?
Yes.
Do you mean them?
Yep.
So we didn't... Wasn't the last thing maybe we should start off with is Adam reacting to this child and
yeah, I think that's where you guys were all heading inside, and
yes.
I think it was Father Hezekiah who was going to perform some purifications in your new, or the building that will serve as your new clinic. So he's probably, you know, if we pick up with you guys heading into there, let me just move over. Also, I need to duck away just for a second here. I went to refill my coffee and then got distracted by petting the dog. So I did not bring my coffee back with me. Let's see. I think this is it here. Yes, okay. So let me get rid of everybody. Oh, you know what? You guys are all updated perfectly. Look at that. Look at that. So, as you guys give me 2 seconds here. I'm running.
Have we got any theories on this owl and the raven? I can't really.
I think we were maybe, or I don't know, at least Basil was thinking that there was some kind of fake creatures from the other realm watching us. There was this kind of portal through the realms.
Mm-hmm.
So you were bringing the younger Adam in to get some food and get him set up. Where perhaps you're leading him over while Basil made the observation that you are being watched. Who else was it? I can't remember. Was it Golag and Basil who spotted the ravens?
I had it down as Golag and Sally.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So what do we do? What do we see happen next, guys? I think Father Hezekiah is going about his own business. Whatever this mystery is with this young child. So there's Father Hezekiah. He is off doing his own thing. And Sally and Basil, what are you guys doing while Dr. Ersprung is bringing this young boy over?
Yeah, I think if I aren't needed no more, then I could basically try to see if I could make contact to this raven owl, do it again or so. I will just maybe go to them or see if they move or whatever. Try to interact.
Okay, so what are you thinking? How are you going to go about doing that?
Yeah, I think just to be curious. So I think I could maybe just go out there and look if they are still watching.
Sure. Do you want to be seen, or are you trying to do this surreptitiously?
No. I really want to be seen. I want.
Okay.
I want to talk to them, and I think now that Stitches isn't here anymore, so maybe we have a chance to get into contact.
Okay. So you walk out and you look up, and the two are still there. You clean your monocle, put it back on, and look right up at them. They do not seem to move.
Yeah. I don't know how. I would just try to sign this like Stitches was like this and try to and then I would just make some kind of throwaway gesture. So.
Okay.
Isn't there anymore, and then I would just wave at them and maybe see what kind of reaction we get.
So the two of them look at you see the two birds look at one another as if there was some kind of discourse going back between the two, and then they both of them turn and fly away.
Okay. Interesting.
So Sally, what are you doing in the interim here?
Sally's thinking that she's normally a very soft-hearted and caring person, but at some point she's going to have to buy a shotgun for those birds.
Yes.
A blunderbuss or something.
Yep. I think that Dr. Ersprung could likely equip you with something like that. And then, Dr. Ersprung, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just trying to put this young boy at ease. Find him something to eat. Maybe some bits of clothing if I feel that he needs it. I'm just trying to make him feel relaxed, and I'm also sort of keeping an eye, well, not an eye on Father Hezekiah, but yeah, I'm just waiting to see when he's finished and Yeah.
It will be hours of work that he'll be undertaking, because this is a series of specific rituals that he's going to be performing. It's more than just like casting individual spells.
Yeah, so I'll be within earshot, but I'll keep out of his way, so it's not interfering with him, but be on hand if needed.
So younger Adam, his eyes are pretty big. His mismatched eyes are pretty big as he's looking around in here, and he says, "Is all this yours?"
It's not mine as such. It's for the community. It's we hope to help many people in need in these premises. Me and the new Dr. Sanford, or Dr. Risewell, will be hoping to help people that have fallen on unfortunate times and need help.
All this here is to help the poor.
That is my hopes. That is my goal. That we will be able to help many people like yourself just get back on your feet.
Well, I'm fit. I ain't need no, I'll take some food, but I don't need no, doctoring.
No, but we are concerned that someone has taken a bit of a disliking to people like yourself and myself. And we'd like to get to the bottom of it.
Wait, there's more people than just us two.
Yeah, I've heard and seen a few others. I'm not sure how many yet.
What, are they here too?
Not yet, but maybe one day, hopefully, we'll be able to bring our friends together. But for now, safety in numbers. So keep close.
Well, I'm not taking charity, but if you hired me, I think that might be all right.
Well, I was going to give you a little time to settle in, but no one sits idly around here. Everyone who is able to always. He doesn't stay at the clinic though, does he?
I saw in this.
Everyone helps.
Is you Sally of the Deep?
I am that one.
I've heard about your show. Can you make your hands glow? Whoa. That's a right trick, isn't it?
It's just all in a day's plunging in the water where I come from.
Oh, I bet.
It teases the fish no end.
You work with a doctor?
I do.
What you do here?
I help with the investigations. I'm not very good with the whole medical thing, you know.
What investigations?
I work for oh, yeah. There are all sorts of mysteries in this town.
What are you... She looks back at the doctor. Are you a doctor and a detective?
Not so great with the detective, but everybody needs patching up sometimes, and my friends do get in a few scrapes, shall we say.
Well, I should like to hear about those.
Oh, there'll be plenty of time for stories.
You said something about food.
Yeah, I'll put together some food.
Okay. So, why don't you guys, Doctor and Sally, why don't you each give us a, I think it's a persuasion check is what I want. Let's see here.
Persuasion.
Nope, that's not a game. Diplomacy. Wrong game, Madison.
Close enough for government work.
Nice. Okay. And nice. You want a hero point then? For you, that's not great. What'd you roll?
Yeah, why not? It just offends me to be so clumsy
you
with my words.
On that. Oh yeah, yeah.
I rephrase.
You have a lifelong fan of from this child at this point, so he is just completely enamored with you. Dr. Ersprung, you made a great impression as well, too. Your bedside manner is impeccable, but a 30 from Ms. Dumaire. She has had that,
It's those glowing hands.
Yeah.
I'm happy to take a second stage to that. That's no problem.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, is there anything you wish to do? So you haven't, I imagine that part of what you're thinking is a physical exam of this kid as well, and you haven't had a chance to do that as of yet. Is that something that you want to...
I want to try and get his confidence a little bit more, so I'll probably wait till at least to sort of tomorrow evening or something, and I just want to make him feel at ease and get him happy, comfortable.
Okay.
And then maybe ask him a little bit of, does he know where he come from, and,
Sure.
those sort of difficult questions as I see him.
Okay. So it's about that point where Basil comes back inside, and you've just seen the owl and the raven go racing or flying off. What would you guys like to do next?
Yeah, I think we haven't, as far as I remember, we haven't questioned Adam, the little Adam, so far. So
Nope.
We should just get him to tell a little bit about where he comes from and so on, or what he remembers. I think he told me he doesn't know where he come from, but so get a little bit more details out of him. But maybe that's what the doctor could do.
Okay.
And just trying to shake off this paranoia that got me after this coin and so on got into my pocket without me noticing anything.
Mm-hmm.
I would just so there is this new doctor in the clinic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that is Dr. Sanford Risewell. He is a clockwork person.
Yeah, that is curious. So maybe I should just have a chat with him.
Sure. So I think I'll use, let's see here. Let's see here. Trying to remember. Oh, okay, great. I'll use Sepulchre's illustration for this one. I think it's pretty cool. So you could probably find him. He's maybe finishing up with a client, or a patient, I should say, not client, and sending them on their way. And he sees you waiting outside, and he says, one of the things that is surprising about the Clockworks is, like, you may expect them to have kind of a 60s robot voice kind of thing, and they don't. Like, they are animated by living spirits, and their voices come out just like anyone else's. So he looks down and with a smooth and calming voice says, Mr. Rathbone, was there something I can do? Did you require a physician's attention?
Not me myself. I'm looking more for some kind of information, and I think, and you will realize very soon, that Dr. Ersprung is maybe not the person I would want to ask what I want to ask now.
Indeed. Forgive me, I'm not certain I follow what you're asking, sir.
So what do you know about what they call the Patchwork people?
The Patchwork? You mean like your colleague, Dr. Ersprung?
I think maybe some people call them flesh warp or something. I don't know what the proper name is here in Paridar.
Well, so just for setting information, Dr. Ersprung is a unique creation. There are, as far as, like, there are things in Paridar like golems and things like that, and but for creatures. Okay,
so then I would ask my question differently. Okay. So from the point of view of a physician, what would be required to get a being like our doctor to be alive?
That is that is a question that is certainly beyond the scope of my expertise or training, but the reason being the limits of my education and the limits of the programming which I had originally received. I have the information and the knowledge of hundreds of years of accumulated medical learning, observation, and experimentation. The treatments I'm able to employ draw on that information.
Mm-hmm. So
for an individual like Dr. Ersprung, you may wish to deal with, to create such an individual would, and this is a speculation, not a observation or a conclusion, but I would imagine that one would require the intervention of the divine, something more sinister, or perhaps powerful workings of magic of some sort, all of which are beyond my expertise.
But more divine, like arcane, okay, so, or occult.
I know not the differences between the two, and I know not what I know is that the limits of physiology and the ability of living things to go beyond, to function, for organisms to function beyond their the catastrophic damage that would need to befall an individual before, or more than one individual before, such a communal organism perhaps could be found. It would require a violation of those natural laws.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Ergo, there must be some form of non-natural and non-scientific intervention, whether that be prayers to the gods, invocations of an arcane nature, or something of a darker bent. I could not say, as I said. Those are beyond my expertise. Why do you ask? And I think maybe at that point is where he sees Dr. Ersprung walk past with Adam Jr. And he doesn't blink, because they don't really blink, but you can hear like his mouth does kind of hang agape a little bit, and he says, I see why your questions are not simple, idle speculation.
No.
Who is our new guest?
We don't know. He calls himself Adam as well. That's the only thing we know about him.
Now that is, and I take it a name not that you had given him.
No.
That is most. Where did he come from?
That is what I'm trying to find out. But since we talk about
to avoid confusion, perhaps our Dr. Adam Ersprung, and as well Adam Auche.
Yeah. Adam, yeah, you would have called him Adam auch, or Adam 2, or whatever, yeah. So I would call him Little Adam. I mean, that's easier maybe.
Perhaps. But how did he come here?
Yeah. I found him in the streets. He was begging. He can't remember where he came from.
He turned up like a bad penny.
That is an interesting metaphor, yeah.
Well, I would say that coincidences are to blame, but in my brief dealings with Dr. Ersprung and from what he has shared with me, I understand that such coincidences can be ignorant of the moving of larger and greater things.
Yeah. So I only have just out of curiosity, and us red folk, we are curious people. So what have you done before you came here?
Forgive me, we had not been introduced. I did not realize you played such an active role in the clinic.
Yeah, you could say I play no role at all in the clinic. I was just curious.
Let
me put it this way. I'm a friend of our Dr. Ersprung, and his last clinic was burned down, and he was basically almost judged for a murder he did not commit. So I'm a little bit more on the paranoid side when it comes to new people showing off in his surroundings, and just trying to get to know them, just in case,
With that explanation in mind, I will take no offense to your probing. I, like many of my kind, were created for the war. And I served in that capacity as I was programmed. And after, I was fortunate to be sponsored by Dr. Raycroft as a physician with the Collingwood University.
That is.
I completed my further studies in there, specializing in surgery beyond the more urgent and the emergency and desperate situations we found in that conflict. And when the opportunity arose for a second physician to be added to Dr. Ersprung's clinic, I was eager to volunteer my services and my time. I share his goal of providing for those who are in want.
Yeah. So as a fellow veteran of the war, I just think that you're doing good here, and your service is very much appreciated.
And yours as well. So I did not realize that you yourself you were a veteran as well. A pleasure to meet you. I'm glad to see that you came out of that conflict at least physically intact.
So we hope.
Then.
So yes, thank you very much for your time. I will not delay your work any further.
Not at all. Doctor, while I have only of late come to know the doctor, I know he is held in great esteem and with great affection by Dr. Raycroft. It is reassuring to know that he has such dedicated friends who are ensuring that his mission can proceed.
Yeah.
If there is anything else I can offer to satisfy your misgivings, however remote they may be, please feel free to. I will be happy to make time.
No, everything is totally fine. I'm sorry to have bothered you, but now we have this information and everything is fine.
Good. Then, do you know this Adam Auch is Dr. Ersprung intending on examining him? Allow me to explain. One of the pitfalls that physicians, particularly those with a curious mind, may find themselves in when presented with novel circumstances, it can be challenging to not treat the patient as a novelty and not as an individual in need of care. I am mindful of that distinction and pitfall of my profession. I can assure, and you could convey this to Dr. Ersprung as well, if an examination is required and he is not comfortable conducting same, I will be happy to make myself available and would do so with the greatest and most appropriate of discretion.
Yeah,
and
I will.
Professionalism.
I will give Adam that information, and thank you again for your
and
volunteering.
May I call you Basil?
Yes, you do.
Please.
You can, and I would call you. So Sanford is your first name?
Sanford is my given name, yes.
Yes, so, man. Sanford. I'm pleased to meet you, and I would actually shake his hand, maybe.
Yep.
I don't know.
He'll shake your hand as well, too. Then, it is always good to meet a veteran who has made such a success of himself in the years after.
Yeah.
So, with that, he goes and sees Betty, and then the next person is a client or patient is prepared and brought in to see him. Dr. Ersprung, you get Adam some food and whatnot from that kitchen. Dr. Raycroft has helpfully made certain that the larder is now fully stocked. So you guys are ready to start properly running a clinic here once Father Hezekiah finishes with his business. Everyone gets a hero point, too. So, what do you guys wish to do next?
So Betty and Cyrus, have they moved into the new clinic?
They probably have, they've got a couple of things here. I think the intent is for them to move into here as well, but they need to, with all the devil stuff downstairs, they probably want to wait until...
But they're working here at the moment until...
Definitely, yeah.
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 That's cool.
There's the need doesn't stop. So I think with Betty and Cyrus's help, you guys have been able to really get that stuff up and running as best you can. The two, there may be a little bit of, actually, no, I don't think there would be anything. I think that Betty likely repainted both offices as a sort of a first thing there. Once she cleaned them up, painted both, so they're pristine in white and, appropriate for seeing patients now. There's no sign of whatever else had gone on in here before, including the death of Brother Loeb. I mean, his spirit still haunts here, but, apart from that.
Oh, yeah.
So then, what do you guys wish to do next?
Yeah, I'll be spending the rest of the evening, just trying to clear out that main sort of hall area, hoping to sort of have beds and things in there so that we can take in the homeless if there's not a need for sort of patients to have beds and things like that. So I'll be spending the time there, especially with the father doing his ceremonies. I was going to also speak to little Adam and see if his sort of limp situation, could that be aided with some sort of special shoe or something to sort of even up his imbalance with his two legs, or would that help him, do I think?
I'm sorry, say again?
He's got that he's got two legs that are sort of slightly different limps.
Yeah.
Would a sort of specialised sort of shoe just,
like an orthotic thing? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I might sort of use that as a way to sort of try and put him at ease, and we'll look at maybe putting something on the bottom of his shoe or some sort of lining or something, and just chatting with him the evening.
Okay. Yeah. Did we lose James, or is it just I lose his camera?
I think he's gone off of Zoom, actually.
Oh, he's we lost him altogether. He's having no luck at all today.
No.
Let's see here. Yeah, he's back to spin. Let me put the link back in here for him. Okay. So then, with is there anything you wanted to try and talk to Adam about before?
I'm sort of trying to get a judgment on whether he feels happy talking about it. I'm trying to sort of ease him into it to see if he starts the conversation rather than start questioning him.
Yeah.
If he starts asking me about that sort of thing, then I might, you know, if he starts asking me where I come from and how many more, I might sort of then.
Why don't you give us
some questions.
A perception check?
Okay.
Let's see what kind of read you're getting from. Let's see here.
Oh, I'm going to hear a point now.
Hear point that, okay.
Yeah. 18.
Okay. I think, you know, like a lot of folks that you meet who are living in, you know, challenging circumstances, shall we say, he is a little reluctant to talk about what he's a fairly guarded kid. So I think that with some prompting, you may be able to get him to open up, but it will be... it may require...
I'm going to try to slowly, softy approach,
sure.
I say, with the new shoe and trying to help him out and wait for him to sort of show some signs of opening up a little bit.
Why don't you give us another diplomacy check, please? Let's see how that goes over. I'm just checking the difficulty. Class, nat 20. Okay, so yeah, that is perfect. So you are going to be making the very best of impressions. What's sort of the joke that you make to break the ice with this kid, or what observation you make to break the ice with this kid? Threaten him with a shoe. You listen here, you little.
It's going to be something that's sort of something linked to the fact that we're both sort of patchwork or whatever we want to call it. I'm just trying to think what it would be.
So one of the things you would notice is one of the things you looked at when you looked at those other bodies, you may recall, was the stitch work was one of the things, and the thread used was one of the things that you were able to connect the work on the bodies to the work on yourself, right? Or at least you were able to distinguish the work on those bodies from the work on yourself.
Yeah, so that was fairly crude, wasn't it, on those ones?
Those ones were more, they were more crude than what you had. Let me put in there for James.
I'm just.
Why don't you give us a medicine check here? Let's just say, because I mean, you would be able to see this kid's arms have stitching on it. His face does. Nat 20 again. Holy smokes!
Jesus.
Showing off today. For all those people who were complaining about dice rolls yesterday, you are getting them the lion's share. So I think you can confidently say that the specific, like, not only the not stitching, because that's not really the right way of phrasing it, but I guess it's the stitching, the sutures that have connected the different parts of this kid, and the surgical cuts that were used to separate different parts. All of that is identical to your own. Like, as you hold your hand out, perhaps you see, you know, and you sort of look and compare the way that one part of your body is connected to another part of your body in comparison to the kids, and it's like the cuts are the same, the stitching is the same. It may even be the same thread that's used for this.
Yeah, so I'll probably make some sort of reference like that when I sort of go to take his hand to sort of lead him somewhere or something. I'll make some sort of comment that, you know, we both went to the same, the same, not clothing store, or I don't know, there's something to do with the stitch works and the
Yeah. We both have the same cobbler, maybe?
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Sort of looking at both of our sort of where our hands are connected or something, or
yeah, and he holds it up and he kind of laughs and he says, "Are there more people like us?"
I'm confident there are more, and hopefully we can learn more of where we come from one day.
You don't know where you come from, then?
No, I have no memory of up until a couple of years ago.
I don't have no memory neither, but I know things, you know?
Wow.
And you were the same way. You may recall, like, you had a pretty good pre-existing knowledge of medicine and technology and whatnot. Like, that your nature as a polymath, not to take away from your accomplishments, but some will say that, your stitched together brain is one of the things you have to thank for your genius in as a physician and an engineer.
And does it almost feel like it is two different?
Most definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I would love to know more of your experiences and what you can remember from your past.
Well, have you got a coin?
Yeah. He'll do his usual checking about 12 different pockets.
Yeah. And then you finally find one and hand it over to him. And he does a little amazing bit of close-up magic where it just, and it disappears. And then he looks and he taps on the bolt on your head, and then a coin seemingly drops out.
Yeah. And I shall look startled or surprised.
He says, "I don't remember being taught that, but I know it."
Wow. You do have talents.
Indeed. Do you have similar things too? You got things you just know how to do?
Well, the medicine is something that sort of comes naturally, and making things, putting things together, crafting things, mechanical things.
You think that's because we got second-hand brains then?
Well, if they have, they've chosen them well, I feel.
You can help people. All I can do is filch things.
I'm sure you can put those talents to good. I'm sure we can find something for those idle fingers to help with.
Well, I'm happy to earn my keep, Doctor. But do you know where? Are you any closer to knowing who made us? Any idea?
I would love to know more. But as of now, I haven't found any more information. I'm so happy that I found you, so we can have these talks.
Do you know why they made us?
I don't know why. I would love to ask someone, the person responsible. It does keep me awake at night sometimes, thinking why someone would do such.
We're experiments, right?
Maybe, but maybe it was to keep someone alive that maybe otherwise would not have carried on.
Oh, and he seems to really like that understanding. Going your crit success on diplomacy, that seems something he is very happy to hear. Does that? You mean we might have known each other when we wasn't parts?
Maybe there's not a coincidence that we have the same name.
Well, I'll keep you, Doctor.
Yes, well, I shall introduce you to Betty and Cyrus. They work hard with me, and I'm sure they will give you some tasks to do that will make you feel more useful around the place.
I'd like that. And then he stands up with this new modified shoe on and starts walking around. He says, oh, it feels funny. And he seems to be walking normally. You would know it's going to take him some time to get used to the new gait, but it's less likely to cause him like back pain and whatever else, going forward. Are you sure these are the way they're supposed to fit?
Yeah, and I'll give my big clumpy feet a sort of stamp up and down and go, no, that's right, that's how it should be.
He looks, I think maybe you might need a pair too, Doctor.
Well, maybe another time we'll get to that.
Thank you for them.
It's a pleasure to be able to help. Now, I think you should go and see Betty. I'm sure she's got something that she'll need some help with.
I will. And he scampers off and goes to see Betty. So, Basil spoke to Dr. Risewell. Dr. Ersprung was dealing with Adam Auch. And Sally, what were you doing during this time?
I guess Sally might go off and try and get in contact with this inventor that had his submersible thing.
Oh, you're going to try and set up a dinner with Captain Zalazzo.
Yeah.
Okay. So that'll probably be tomorrow, because this was just like near end of day today, and this neighborhood you probably don't want to be out at night. I mean, you could easily make your way if you want to go and visit Mrs. Hunter.
Yeah, I'll maybe go and see her, but I think we can just assume I just go along, ask her to arrange something, and then say hello, have a cup of tea, and then nip back.
Okay. Do you bring up the break-in that her servant had mentioned to you?
No, she didn't seem to want to discuss that. So
okay.
If she didn't want to discuss it, I won't.
All right. So you have a date set up with what do you call it? With Mrs. Hunter and Captain Zalazzo. Do you want your comrades to come along with that dinner as well? We just need...
Yes, why not? Because we're all interested in how that can affect the spire and the pond.
Okay. Then, is there anything else you guys wish to have happen tonight, or you wish to do tonight? If not, let's talk about what you guys wish to do tomorrow.
Yeah, I think the only thing would be tomorrow then, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think we so I don't know if Adam Auch would go to bed at earlier time than perhaps like a child, or
probably. I mean, if he's in a comfortable and warm spot with a full belly and whatnot, he may fall asleep faster than he would normally, do.
Yeah.
So
I think at one point maybe we can talk to each other, and he's not
compare
there,
notes on this.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So there is, I think Betty has set up not in the main, in that main hall that used to be the lecture hall. She's got a table set up in there with a proper linen on it, and she has made dinner to make sure that everyone, to make the place feel more like a like what the old clinic I suppose used to, even more so because you didn't have a kitchen in the old place. So you guys are sitting down there enjoying some tea. And what did you guys wish to talk about?
So, I don't know how to address that, Adam. So please don't feel offended, but I tried to ask your new doctor about what is necessary to have a being like you are. And he told me that there must be probably some kind of divine or magical addition and that might be the case. So maybe if we are looking to find out where exactly you came from, we have to get someone who is a master of divination or something to find out where or what kind of supernatural influence was used to create you or so.
Yeah. I've often stayed awake at night wondering who would create such a being. But I try to keep myself busy to not think about it too much. But now with the appearance of this young Adam, it seems to be a more prominent thing, and the bodies that have been appearing, it seems like someone's trying to undo their work, or someone is looking to, well, remove such people from society. I'm not sure which of the two at the moment.
I mean, I would recall, so if I remember correctly, Adam was also a member of the medical corps or something in the war.
No, Adam was not involved in the war. Adam and Sally were both.
Okay. So and how? So he met Dr. Raycroft basically after the war was over.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was, or shortly near the end of, and that's where Dr. Ersprung doesn't have what he recalls is, wandering an alleyway, confused and in pain and in need of medical care. And then when he was brought in, that's when it, as such a curious specimen, it drew the attention of Dr. Raycroft. Dr. Raycroft then came to learn that Dr. Ersprung was not a creature. He was a gifted physician and a gifted engineer. And then the more he got to know him, the more he realized that no, this is not, this is someone who needs to be, if he's willing to take advantage of his gifts. And having spent time among the poor and whatnot, that seems to be where they treat Adam better than, or Dr. Ersprung better than what some of the hoity-toity types do.
I understand. Okay. So, I mean, so you yourself
you're
said
not wrong.
that...
One thing I'll just say, sorry, Ingolf. One thing I'll say, you're not wrong to suspect that the 9th Paridar Medical Corps was certainly involved, and other, not just the Medical Corps, but the Corps of Engineers were definitely interested in pushing science and the related speculative fields into some very inventive areas. That's where we got the vampiric virus. That's where we got the clockwork folk from, and a bunch of other the members of the Order of Saint Sylvester. From what Sir, what's his name again? Sir Archibald. He had mentioned that he was a byproduct to what's his name? Your Dampier sidekick. He had mentioned to him that his gifts were likewise a product of the
Hannibal Ducar was our friend, or who you mean?
It was, let's see here, Archibald Morgan. Sir Archibald Morgan is who I was thinking of. The members of the Order of Saint Sylvester.
Yes.
Yeah.
But our Dampier sidekick wasn't that Hannibal Ducar?
Oh, yes. Carl's character. Yeah. He had mentioned to Hannibal that he was also a product of it. So there's a lot of different science, quasi-science, quasi-magical, fully magical things that the government was doing during the war. It's not inconceivable to think of that someone may have been exploring reanimating corpses in a specific way as one of those ways of getting. The Dampier are literally dead men put back into service So, you know, having a different way of doing that by stitching the particularly damaged ones back together, there would be a certain appeal to that, to a certain, shall we say, ethically liable or pliable physicians.
Challenged.
Yeah. I would say they're not challenged by it whatsoever. The ethics pose no problems for them.
So Adam gained conscious, our Adam, let's say 10 years ago or something. So we know that he knows of himself like 10 years ago or so.
Yeah, probably even less than that. Maybe 5 or 6 years. But yeah, he knows, and his first memory is staggering along, pretty badly injured, and without any recollection of how he got there, in an alleyway in one of the less reputable districts in Paridar. That led to his, only because of this bizarre extent, like when first medical care was offered to him. People realized, they thought that he was just, you know, had suffered horrible injuries and somehow had survived them. And then the more they looked, they were like, what are we looking at here? And that's what drew the attention of one of the senior surgeons. And then fortunately, it was, one of the surgeons who actually, is bound by whatever the Paridar equivalent of a Hippocratic oath is, and didn't want to cut him apart to learn, from him, and recognized him as a living creature with his own. You're fortunate that the Church of the Heavenly Host had kind of opened the door for recognizing the automatons and constructs as, beings with souls as well. So it wasn't a hard thing to have you likewise recognized as the same.
So, and the other impression I got, and this might be totally far-fetched, sometimes I go onto this, call this conspiracy tangents. When I found this Adam auch, that there was this coin in my pocket with a note?
I didn't know of this information.
And I would produce the coin. So maybe we have to talk about the coin. But there was a strange coincidence. When talking about coincidence, your Dr. Sanford Ricewell mentioned this was like a bad coin. So this is strange. This is like the very, very peculiar metaphor to give to someone when in this situation. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, it could be just pure coincidence. But
out of curiosity, Ingolf, is there a similar phrase in German about like a bad penny? A bad penny always turns up?
No.
Okay, so so you give context for it. I'm using an English like aphorism. It's a bad.
No. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
I mean, even if there was, I would just because now I would say, you see, you told me that you could make it the same kind of stitches on each of the bodies you examined in the morgue and so on. So
somewhat cruder, but very similar. I was
but what I was thinking about. So this is with a certain precision that is maybe more like mechanical than human.
Possibly. I was considering maybe asking Dr. Risewell if he could maybe examine myself and Adam.
Yes, he would gladly do that.
Maybe side by side he could, compare and maybe learn something of how we were made.
Do you trust him?
He comes with, good referrals from a trusted friend. It was Dr. Raycroft.
Yep.
Yeah. I trust Dr. Raycroft implicitly.
Yeah, I know that.
And if he has put him on to me and put him forward, then I trust him.
Okay, then I mean it's up to you.
And when I say investigation or to, compare it, I don't expect him to be taking us apart, if that's what you think.
No. I am more, a lot of people turn up at your door being interested in you for strange reasons in the last few months. And the only thing that you don't believe in as a detective is coincidence. So
You are certainly inquisitive, Basil. And I think that is one of your strengths, I would say.
Yeah. So I would ask you to talk to Dr. Raycroft about Adam auch, and I would like to talk to Dr. Green, because I would suppose that she might have some, at least speculation about what's going on.
Mm-hmm. This is Dr. Elizabeth Green?
Yes, and I'm perfectly aware that she won't give that information without a price, and well, we'll see what her price is.
Well, maybe I shall take little Adam along with me to meet Dr. Raycroft, see what he makes. Maybe he could even do some investigation. He is like a medicine doctor, isn't he?
Oh,
Dr.
yeah. I think that he is, and he's a well distinguished, doctor or whatnot. But I think that is likely more due to his position. He's a capable physician, but his real gift is that he comes from an extraordinary amount of wealth, and he has a lot of contacts that come with both his profession and his family's position. So he's the real value that he brings to you is that he's got an enormous amount of sway with the community of physicians.
Yep. Yeah.
And with the government, for that matter, too. He was seconded to the 9th Medical Corps during the war. Yeah.
Well, I certainly think he's worth a visit tomorrow if he's available. And like I say, I will take our new small friend along.
If you wish as well. I was reminded by the illustration, too. He has a clockwork arm. And I know that since I'm assuming you're the one who designed it for him, but it has been a number of years since you've given him an upgrade, and you have made some substantial improvements in Igor over this time. So perhaps you could bring there's a gift you've been waiting to deliver to him in a form of a more advanced prosthetic.
Oh yeah, that'd be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. So I should probably be working on that during the night, just tweaking it and making sure it's ready as well.
Okay. So Dr. Ersprung wants to meet with Dr. Raycroft tomorrow. Ms. Dumary, you're setting up a dinner in the near future with Mrs. Hunter. Mm-hmm. We have a pending charity soiree that Mrs. Carrington is helping. Actually, Mrs. Carrington and Miss Lagrange are helping to organize. Basil, do you have anything you wish to follow up on?
Yeah, I think I would really try to talk to Elizabeth Green again.
Find time with Dr. Green, yes. Okay. Yep. And I think, Dr. Ersprung, you'd like to have a way of your contact at the morgue. It was Dr. Let's see here.
Oh, yeah, I got this wrong the last time as well. I don't know.
Dr. Leslie Reed.
Yeah, really.
You know what I'll do? I'll write down to load the PDF of the Faces of Paridar document into the game, so we can all access that whenever we need.
Yep.
Okay. So, time, she is a flying today. We're already at our midway point, so why don't we take our mid-session break right now, refresh some beverages, and we'll come back and see what happens tomorrow. So for those listening at home, we'll be back momentarily. Alrighty. I went out to get Anna her treats for snack, and this is, you can see in there what I found. I need some instructions on how to put a pit bull back together now, because she's just spread out like a maniac. What a goofball. I think this coming week is our last full week of games before the holidays, before Blackbirds kicks off. Oh.
So you're having a big hiatus?
December 21st until January, whatever the first day, like start of January is going to be, with the exception of one day where we're doing like 4-year campaign retrospective. And with Night Below, it's all the sessions are going to be turned over to Blackbirds for whoever wants to play or is free to play. And then, yeah, we'll
so in fact,
see.
more gaming, not less.
Sorry?
So in fact, more gaming, not less.
I know there's a weekend like I think like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day maybe. I think fall on a weekend. So I don't know. Like I'm for sure I won't be running stuff on those days. But otherwise, like I'm staying here for the holidays. My folks we're going to come up with it because of how COVID is right now, and they're both immunocompromised. I couldn't fly them out, so. Just gonna be me, and then my son's heading back to Winnipeg. He's still young enough to brave the Canada highway roads or Canada roads in the wintertime. After that fucking blizzard and 22 hours of driving, I think I'm done with winter driving for the near future. I've driven in some gnarly weather before, but like that last trip in October was just, oh my god. Just bonkers.
I don't blame you. That sounded horrendous.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're all back then. So, guys, with the dawn coming, actually, give me 1 second here. Let me check something. Yeah, that would be right. With the dawn coming, what do you guys wish to do today? We have the plans of going to see Dr. Raycroft, of setting up dinner with Mrs. Hunter, and then forgive me, Angolf, what was Basil wanting to do? Oh, you're muted, Angolf.
Yeah, I realized that. So that was yeah. So I want to
everyone have a drink for Mo.
Yeah, I wanted to meet Elizabeth Green.
Right, so Dr. Earthsprung. So probably the first thing that will happen, I think, then will be the meeting with Dr. Raycroft, followed by Dr. Green, because Dr. Earthsprung would have to send the word out today for that. Let's go to the nicer part of Paridar here. Where are we going? We are heading over to here. All right. Go. Okay. So, Dr. Earthsprung, you are once again met at the door by the servant who recognizes you. And as you come out, he looks down and sees Adam Auch. And let me just make a quick will save for him. He can't hide the shock. He kind of, when he looks at Adam Jr. and looks up at you to see Dr. Raycroft.
Yeah, and I give him a bit of a stern look, as into,
Yeah, give us an intimidation check, please.
Keep your sort of ideas and comments to yourself a little bit from your way you're looking at the young one.
That was only an 8-year-old.
Yeah, I'm going to try that again.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. So when he looks up at you, it is a glowering in only a way a Patchwork man really can, employ that impressive forehead into a scowl, and he blanches and says, "Please come in. He will meet you in the garden," and brings you over to where where you have been meeting him before in that arboreum, like glass cased thing. It's not long before Dr. Raycroft joins you, and you're carrying, I think, like a case of some kind as well.
Covered up, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think maybe when you're heading there, I think Adam would ask you, what's in the case?
It's something I've made for my good friend, Dr. Raycroft, and I'll give him a little preview of it.
His eyes go wide. He said, "You built that?"
Yes, I've been working on it for some time.
So you fix people and you build things.
I try to do whatever I can to help the few that we have time to help.
Okay. It looks just like an ant.
That's certainly what I hope.
He kind of holds up his hand and kind of moves it as he's looking at it and looking at you. And he sits back and he's quiet for the rest of the trip here. But when Dr. Raycroft comes in, he is very glad to see you, as always. Adam! What a surprise. Wonderful to see you again. And I hear you brought a friend.
Yeah, and I expect he's probably sort of hiding a bit behind me.
Yeah.
And I sort of gently
Hello, my friend.
usher him round.
What's your name, then? And he introduced, I'm Adam. And as he puts out his hand, he puts out the one so that Dr. Raycroft has to use his mechanical hand. So it goes out, and he shakes the young kid's hand. The kid kind of looks at Dr. Raycroft's arm. And he looks over at you and he says, "The new one's nicer." And Dr. Raycroft kind of says, "What's he on about?"
Yes. I've been working on something for a little while in my spare time, what little I have. And I sort of bring forward the parcel and I sort of hand it over to him.
Yeah, he draws some glasses from his pocket and puts them on the bridge of his nose and looks. Now, this is exquisite, Adam. Oh, my. This has been, and he holds up his existing one. This has been working perfectly well. This was a very unnecessary gift, but it is most welcome. Do you think it's the type of thing that could... Have you given more thought to reproducing these? There are many corpsmen who could benefit from the advances made in your prosthesis.
I feel it's something that now that I have Sanford Risewell, the good doctor, maybe it'll give me a little more time to spend working on such things if we can get together the resources. I seem to be certainly getting closer to perfecting it and speeding up the process, so possibly.
A patent on such a thing could go a long way to funding the work that we do through your clinic.
Well, that's where someone like yourself may be able to assist. I'm not so sure about this paperwork business.
I believe I'll have to speak to my accountant. They may be more business-minded on this, but this... Thank you, Adam. What a wonderful gift. You all right, son? I do think this one is nicer. And Kid kind of nods. And he says, so, this is... Is there something else you wish to bring me about? You wish to see me about, or things are progressing well at the clinic?
Yeah, our first few days there, we've certainly made great progress, and things are coming together. Yeah.
Good. And I hear that you brought in a witch hunter to have the place cleaned.
Yes, the father has, yes, I think he's done a grand job of putting minds at ease, shall we say.
How did you come across him? Someone you came upon in your investigations, or?
He was a contact from a young priest when working on a case with my investigator friends.
His name is not one that's known to me, which simply means that he moves in better circles than what I do.
Yes, well, in his field, he is fairly well known, but not the most hospitable person, shall we say.
I understand. Then, if not the clinic, I trust you have come to introduce me to your new friend, then.
Yes, I thought you would like to meet Adam, and I sort of gestured to him.
Adam? My name is Dr. Abraham Raycroft, but I think... He looks up at you. I think perhaps Uncle Abraham would be most appropriate. Hey?
And I should nod at that with a smile.
And Adam Auk is not quite really what to make of that, but he's used to being, deferential to those of means. So, he says, as you please, sir, Uncle Abraham. Then, what Dr. Abraham then says, he gestures, might I see your arm, son? And he gestures his hand up and begins looking at it. And looks over at you, Dr. Ersprung.
And I shall hold my arm out as soon as he does that, as almost like a comparison.
Yeah, and he brings it in. He says, incredible. Son, do you have any memory? Have you any memory of where you came from? How you came to be, like our friend Dr. Ersprung here? And he says, no, sir. I got no memory of it. And he says, but do you have a recollection of skills or trades? And he steps forward and, steps back a bit, sir. And he opens his hand, and Uncle Abraham's pocket watch is in his hand. And he says, quite. Looks over at you. So, is it... We're going to speak to... like you are not here, Adam. So forgive us for this rudeness. But, Dr. Ursper, and he turns to you, Adam Sr., It's like your circumstances.
Indeed. I thought you might be able to shed some more light onto how you came across myself.
Oh, I wish I had more insight. The others, they were a different hand. You agree?
I think so.
But with young Adam here, it seems the same. And I was like, same as what, sir? And the same hand that made Dr. Ersprung seems to be the one who made you. You would share a mother or father. And he kind of looks up at you. What do you make of this?
Do you know such a physician who would be able to do this work? Have you ever come across anyone?
None I have
heard of such.
No, I made inquiries of this, even of the 9th Medical Corps, when we first came acquainted. I have been unable to identify any names of any individuals involved in such inventive surgery. I wish I could, but with two now, and two seeming to come from the same... When one trains and serves at the side of an expert, one learns but does not often equal the skill of the master. It is more often that one either develops one's own peculiar affectations of art, or they have yet to master and reach the level of proficiency as the teacher does. There are, of course, instances where the pupil will exceed the instructor, but I wonder if what we see is a workings of the original hand. And he gestures at you and gestures at Adam Auch. And the others were by a pupil, or perhaps earlier works.
An interesting idea.
I think if this is a physician, and in my limited knowledge, I cannot fathom works such as yourselves being fashioned without the knowledge of a physician, a surgeon in particular, then I cannot think that those others would come from... The work is passable and would be acceptable at any operating table or any operating chamber in Paridar. However, the work on you, and he touches your hand, and young Adam here, this is truly the work of a genius. At my best, I could not equal the precision of the scalpel work or the stitching. The sutures on both you and young Adam, they would be the envy of any who works in trauma. Do you concur, Doctor?
Well, the difference between the others that I've seen and Adam here is certainly the gulf of well, not experience, but professionalism. Like you say, there is quite a gap.
He turns and looks at young Adam. Adam, I know we have only just met, but you strike me as a very brave little boy. Have I the correct measure of it? And Adam kind of looks at him and says, yes, sir. He says, then, would you allow Dr. Ersprung to draw some blood from you? You would not be afraid of that, would you? And he says, looks up at you, Dr. No, it wouldn't scare me the least. And he says, good boy. Then, there are certain, as you know, Adam, there are certain markers in your blood, things that I believe are part of the reason you are to be who you are. Perhaps if we knew whether there were similar markers, we could more confidently speak to the familial relation between yourself and Adam Jr.
Well, if I look down, if Adam is he's up for the idea, I think it would probably lead to some insights, certainly.
Okay. The young Adam looks up at you and says, will this help tell us who we come from?
It may help us. It may help us to unravel the mystery.
Go on then. I'm not afraid.
And I'll ask Dr. Raycroft to take some blood from me first, just to sort of show how it works. And
sure. So he does. Everyone gets a hero point too. He will go and collect his doctor's kit. If you want to talk to Adam Alk about anything while he's gone, you're welcome to do so. If not, then he will return.
Yeah, I'll just make sure he's happy. Now he's not there to sort of say what he really
Yeah,
thinks.
I think as he walks away, he's kind of taken in by this. He's like, is this where you live?
No, this is the Dr. Raycroft's house, but
He's got a lot of money.
He took me in when I was first found wandering the streets, and he's been a very, very generous to me and helping me set up the clinic.
So he's the one what brought you in the same way that you brought me in.
That's right, and that's why I feel he's got a connection to yourself, and that's, I think, why he likes the thought of you calling him uncle.
You think he minds if I call him Uncle Abe?
I'm sure he'd be fine with that.
Nods his head. All right. Uncle Abe it is, then. And when Dr. Raycroft returns, he sets everything up. He, draws the tourniquet on you, draws the blood from you, sets it aside. He marks it, puts it into with a grease pencil, puts it into his little like a velvet lined casing, and then he goes, "And you're a brave boy." "Yes, Adam." And he says, "I am, Uncle Abe." And he looks at you. "Abe, indeed. I don't think anyone's called me that since my dear departed mother." And he tries the tourniquet. He takes the kid's blood, marks it with a grease pencil, sets it aside. "Then, I hope that this will reveal more for us of what, if nothing else, than the relation between you two." And he leans into young Adam. "You're a very lucky boy, too. There are few who would have a better protector than our Dr. Ersprung. Though he has been known to steal sweets." And kind of looks up at you like he's trying to figure out whether that's true or not. Then, Adams, is there anything else that we should discuss?
My friend Basil was trying to set up a meeting with the Dr. Green, Elizabeth Green.
Yes, we've had dealings with her.
Would that be something you might be able to help arrange, do you think?
My relationship with the Ninth Paridar Corps, Ninth Paridar Medical Corps has it seems I have not the sway I used to have with them. The difficulty with... Perhaps our pursuit of a cure for the Dampier's serum seems to have cast me in a poor light with them. It appears as if those experimenting scientists did not enjoy the idea of us undoing what they had wrought. But I still have sufficient sway to have word passed to her. I will pass that to her. Which of your colleagues wishes to speak to her? Is it yourself or?
Basil. You know Basil Rathbone?
The Rat Man, yes. I will pass that word along. Then, anything else, Adam?
No, I mean, I'll be very interested to see the results of the blood work.
I will send word, and we can review them all together. Would you like that, Adam? And Adam says, yes, sir, I think so. And the last, well, it was a great pleasure to meet you, Adam. And Adam, thank you for providing the introduction. And younger Adam nods and says, well, thank you, Uncle Abe. I like your house. And he says, thank you. I like it a great deal, too. Then, and he places his hand on the case once again. And Adam, thank you. It is a exquisite gift and very kind.
Any alterations, obviously let me know.
I will. And he says that in a way knowing that there's going to be nothing wrong with it. Like, it's going to be mechanically perfection as soon as he connects it to the, whatever the apparatus is. Is there anything else you wish to do with Dr. Raycroft?
Nope. I'm waiting for, hopefully, him to get word to Elizabeth Green, and I'm waiting for the blood samples and etc.
So then, Wood. Let me move us back to a more modest neighborhood here. Yeah, that looks about right. So, Sally and Basil, would you kindly give us a... Oh, you know what? I might actually have a different and better view here. Let me see. Yes, I do. Hold up. Let me create a new page here. Okay. And you guys are already on there. Pretty good. Oh, and you guys while I'm fucking around with this, you can go ahead and give us a perception check each, please. And allow me to bring you over to your new home. Oh.
You
want to hero point that? That's
yeah, sure.
Pretty abysmal for Basil.
I should do that as well.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't know. My mind is somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nat 20 from Sally, though.
Yeah.
So, Basil, maybe you're... what do you think you're doing? What do you think you've been doing for this morning? You knew that Dr. Ersprung was taking Adam off to meet Dr. Raycroft. What have you been doing with this time?
I think I made a couple of theories how this note and this coin and where this coin could have come into my pocket. And I was so busy thinking about them and ruling the impossibles out that I just...
Did you guys overnight at the clinic, or did you head back to the, the Shadowy Illuminations agency.
I think we
I'll
would
have
stay.
headed back because they haven't fitted a bathtub for me yet.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It might seem strange because I think that Basil would think that he has to go with Sally in order for her to keep him safe. So I think he will just.
Yep. All right. So you're at your conspiracy board in the front office. You know, of course, so that's what you're occupied with. Sally, I think what happens is you, because there's an element of luck in your nat 20 there, you know the window that got broken on the second floor? That it has been replaced now. So you've headed over to it and you kind of like, and test the pane. And as you do so, you know that the spot that like everyone across the from where your office is, and actually we're in that. Let me go back to the Shadow Illuminations agency. Then go. Yeah. There's that alleyway across from the office that everyone seems to spy on you from. There is someone in there wearing a. He is. He's not very tall, but the lower part of his body is wearing some kind of like greenish, like almost like evergreen colored checked suit, a tweed checked suit of some kind, or a tweed suit, I guess, of some kind. He's wearing fairly modest loafers. Probably of a not working class, but probably middle class, not someone fancy, but the kind of things that a middle class person wants to look nice in. And he seems to be, he's leaning against the wall in the way that only the people who spy on you guys seem to do, as if he's been waiting for something to happen. The suit tells you it's an adult, and the size of the individual tells you they're probably maybe Yasaki, although he's wearing, shoes, maybe a gnome, maybe a halfling, maybe something else, some other, shorter species or ancestry.
Okay, so I let out. So is Basil, am I alone in the house?
Only yourself, Basil, and Sylvan.
Okay, so I let out a deep sigh and trot along to Basil and just say, "We've got another stalker."
Basil is rearranging another thing on his. He's trying to put a pin through a penny with not a lot of luck on it.
I see you're busy. I will go and spy on the spy. He seems a little clumsy.
So, what kind of person was it? Just to be curious.
On the small side.
Someone of my kind, maybe. I'm expecting a visit.
Could be. How does he dress?
Maybe like some kind of gang member who tries to disguise as a normal peasant.
Well, this guy seems to view himself as a little bourgeois, I must say. I'm not sure if that would fit in with your description.
Well, we'll see. I would just, I think you might talk to them and I would stay at the door. Just have
why don't you go for a walk? Give me 10 minutes, go for a walk, and I will nip out the back door and go in the other side of that alley.
I think
let's see what he does when you leave.
The Yasaki also often, they don't wear shoes. Shoes are not really, for one, they're not really necessary, and the structure of their feet is such that it's, there's types of shoes that would fit dwarves or humans or other species. It's not...
Good point.
Yeah.
But still, let's go with that plan. Why don't you take a walk to Dr. Ursprung's, but give me 10 minutes so that I can tell your tale. And anyway, I knew you'd like the tail reference.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I can.
I don't know. Your joke seems a little fishy.
Yeah.
You'll have so many tales this afternoon.
I resisted the fishy jokers. No, yeah, I think then we should. I will do as you advise. That's probably the best.
Okay.
I'm a little bit absent-minded, I must confess.
Okay. Yeah, it's disturbed by this penny. Pick it up and place it back in your pocket. So what do you do then?
So I'll nip out the back door and go around and back in the alley from the other side.
Okay, why don't you give us a stealth check, please? Let's see how... Oh, yeah, awesome. All right, so you got yourself on the far side, and then when you're maybe checking your watch, Basil, once sufficient time passes, you get yourself ready and then head out the door.
Yeah. And just because I think I'm being really clever now, I would just shout into the building while leaving, "Okay, Sally, I will just visit Dr. Ersprung and close the door."
Okay.
And just walk off.
Why don't you give us a deception check? Let's see how convincing your pantomime is. Come on, big money.
I don't see so much big money, but... today is not my day for rolling dice. So...
She's a 4.
Yeah, I think
Sally just manages to stifle another sigh in the shadows.
Yeah, no, I would just re-roll. I mean,
Okay.
I would just, and this will be a 16 with my current luck, but well, we'll see. No.
Yeah. So I picture that you open the door and you're leaving. All right, Sally, I'll meet you there. I'm leaving now. And then very conspicuously close the door, which gives a sufficient time for this person to come out of the shadows and begin making their way towards you, and making sure not to get hit by any of the horses or the carriages that are going back and forth. And what you see running towards you before you can even get down the stairs, Basil, is about your height, small halfling fellow. He's dressed in a full, it is a kind of a rumpled tweed suit that most definitely has seen better days. It's fraying at some of the stitching. He has a cravat at his neck that seems to be it's loose. It's clearly been tied, several hours ago. He's got a little bit of 5 o'clock shadow along his the clean shaven parts of his face, but he has great big mutton chops that head up into a big curly mop of dark hair, and he has bright green eyes, and a very this is not characteristic of halflings in general, but this particular person, a very unsettling smirk. Oh, hello, Mr. Rathbone.
You know my name.
Of course I know your name. Might I have a word with you? And you can see he's pulling something out of his pocket, which is a little notebook with complete with a little pencil nub in there. I might wonder if you might have a comment that I can share with our readers on the allegation that your colleague, Dr. Dr. Upspring, that he's creating abominations of his own kind in his office. What's your comment on that?
My comment is that is a completely false rumor. And what are you working for?
What Mr. Rathbone says he can't comment on the truth of that rumor at this time.
I'm sorry, for which newspaper were you writing?
This is the Paridar International. It is hands down the trashiest rag in Paridar.
Okay. Then you maybe you should you should spice the story a little bit up.
Oh, is your upspring available for comment? Is he here?
Yeah, just follow me to his clinic. I mean, maybe you can talk to him.
His clinic? Is his abomination kept there then? He says that's where the abomination is kept. And he flips over to the path.
So I think there is no abomination, but you could just follow me.
All right. Well, what comment do you have on that, though? I'm a busy man, as I'm sure you are, Mr. Rathbone.
So you are a busy man and you're standing there in the alley all the time?
Oh, it's important we get things right.
Okay.
And have an opportunity. Surely you want to make sure you don't want. And he leans in this like the most insincere, fellow conspirator kind of way. You don't want Doctor his messages to be going out in the wrong way. He doesn't want to have a context. You can understand the concern the public might have if he says he's creating an army of monsters in his own image.
Really, really. Is he close enough so that I could take his notebook away from him?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to sleight of hand it?
Yeah.
Like, are you trying to make sure he notices, or?
I don't care, because I have a feat that even if he notices, it would not disturb me from trying to fetch it.
Nice, yeah. So go ahead. Yeah, let me set the tell you what the DC is though. On this, so it will be. Let's see here. I think it'll be an 18.
An 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Pickpocket. Yeah. So yes, even without taking the -5 penalty for closely guarded things. Okay. So. Yeah. So let's see.
Come on.
I mean, maybe I can correct his notes a little bit.
Nice. Is that with the -5?
No, I don't have a -5.
Oh, you don't have a -5 because your feet. Okay, great. So yeah. So you, it's just gone, and then he, as he's leaning in, and he goes to write down. Where those go? Where's that gone? And he's looking around for his notes. He is effectively distracted right now if you do want to try and stealth away.
Yeah, I think I should just try to do that. Yeah, let's come on.
Okay.
That's a 20.
Yeah, so you just disappear into... Perhaps there's a carriage that's going by, and you walk, and it's kind of like you did on the mechanical wagon before. You just hop in the back, and it's carrying you away. And then this reporter... When he finishes looking around, well, mister, hey, where'd you go? Hey, you can't strive and suppress. The truth will win out. And that's sort of what you leave as you're rolling away. You hear all of this transpire, Sally, because this halfling fellow is making no effort to try and be quiet whatsoever. So he's cursing as he, kind of kicks the ground, and he can't see you whatsoever. What do you wish to do, if anything?
I'll just chuckle in the shadows.
Okay.
And then I'll head off towards Dr. Earthsprung.
Okay. So then, Basil and Sally, you likely, if not meeting up at the same... we can head back over there now. If not meeting up at the same... along the way, you certainly meet up when you guys reach the clinic. And out of force of habit, I think, Basil, you look up at that spire facing the thing to see where they were, and there's no birds up there this time. Sally, you arrived shortly thereafter, and you would have had an opportunity to look through the notebook on your way over here, too. What it seems is there's some notes in here that are in some kind of code. It's probably it's the Paridar equivalent of shorthand that he's got in there, but there's definitely it's that kind of there's one page of it that has clearly the name Dr. Adam Earthsprung, and it's underlined on there, and then there is child abomination, and then there's a little bit of there's about 2 pages of notes after that, and then there's where you guys are. The address for Shadow Illuminations is listed there. It doesn't have the address for the clinic, and it looks like from the date that this stuff would have been late last night is where he got the information. So somehow word got to this reporter, at sometime late last night, after you guys had returned back to the mission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. So does it say somewhere who his contact was or where he got his information from?
Nothing in there, no.
Who gave the tip?
It is the most
We
recent
can't
thing.
read it all, right?
There are parts of it that you can't read just because you're not. I think Mrs. Carrington may help you with that.
That's what I was thinking. But
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is not like they were paid to write something. That's at least good news.
You need not make a society roll. There are actual crusading reporters like Mrs. Carrington who are really trying to report on fairly what is going on and things of concern for the general public. There are equivalents of status of her paper that focus more on the industry side, that are happy to report people put positive spins in industry's favor. They demonize unions. They do everything to try and build up the perspective on the elite. And then there are hit rags like this. The Paridar International is something that if you want to if one socialite wants to embarrass someone else, that may be a way they tip them off. These guys get paid to write this stuff by the powerful. So for sure, there is someone who's paying him, but he may not care even who it is.
Oh, so that is interesting news. Okay, so there is likely someone behind it, not only giving them a tip, but maybe actually having that story written as well and published.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. That's the Paridar International is just sensationalist nonsense or drummed up hit pieces about people who,
Okay. Yeah, so someone is really working against Adam. And this is no coincidence that this happens just before this fundraiser is. No, that is...
Yep.
Gosh.
So Sally and Basil, you have an opportunity to discuss this before Dr. Ersprung returns with young Adam.
So we've got to find out who's got it in for it. But they seem to have quite a pool because they seem to be able to bring in all sorts of the underworld, not just, pay by the hour reporters. Demons and such.
I think there's something. I don't think that this is the same faction that was behind the former incidents. This is something more personal, I suppose.
Maybe Dr. Ersprung is a cast-off lady. He may be a bit of a dark horse, for all we know.
Yeah. I think the only thing we could do right now is have our own piece written and published in the Paridar Times before the other one, or at the same time. So I have to change whatever, and we have to go to Hannibal Carrington immediately. I think that the only way we could just not have a story of him being the future invader of the city.
What a little character piece of how Dr. Ersprung has built his new clinic and his new employee.
He built his new employee. No. I think we should stay away from words like he built his new employee. That's really not helping the cause. No. I think I'm thinking more of a story like another patchwork person was found after our whatever Adam Earthsprung. Now there is Adam auch found, and such things. So like this. So to make it very clear that he can't possibly have built this person. Something like that, like, there is someone out there who created this tool.
What do you think, Sally?
Well, we could try that.
One thing I'd...
Putting together a story.
One thing I would... I'm curious of your thoughts on is when Sally came here, she wasn't a child, obviously, but... as far as her understanding of the wider Paridar society and the wider world and whatnot, her perspective would have been very much akin to that. She was the subject of newspaper articles and then subsequent interest by the, socialite class who wanted to meet her and blah, blah, blah. Do you have any feelings on potentially putting a child into that same position?
Indeed, that could be a tricky one. I'm not sure I approve.
You know that the child will be under these circumstances anyways. If this other piece gets
publicized.
Do you really think we could stop the Paridar International from writing a piece?
If we keep stealing their notebooks.
The only thing we could do is to have. If Golag was here, and if he really had good contacts with his father again, I heard they met. So then I think we could easily have this piece never be written. But that's maybe the only thing I could imagine that we could do.
Yes, but the problem at the moment. Golag just stays in his bedroom fiddling with his business cards. You never get to see him.
I think he's just standing before that painting right now, just staring at it. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Indeed, admiring his own image.
Yeah, much better than my father ever looked. Yeah. That is something we could try. But this is about the only thing I could see working. So if we want to, someone pays them to have this piece published. So we need someone who is maybe more influential to have it not be published. That is the only thing I could see. Or this piece is published, but then we have our other way to tell the story, our own spin.
I think it's perhaps around now when you can hear the door open and Dr. Earthsprung and Adam Auch have returned from meeting with Dr. Raycroft. So you guys have got to a certain point in your discussion of what should go on, and what is the expression on Sally and Basil's face as Dr. Earthsprung walks into the kind of common room?
Concern.
Okay, so that you can tell there's some. I think Basil probably has a book or a what do you call it? A notebook that doesn't look like it's his in his hands, and Basil's got a look of concern. He's got that twitching on his of his whiskers that tells you he's agitated by something.
I shall look down at Adam and say, it was good fun meeting Dr. Raycroft, but I think you should get off and see Betty and maybe get to work. Let's get this place looking spick and span.
All right.
And I shall talk to my friends.
Sorry, I said we'd be moving some stuff out of the basement. That priest, he finished up his stuff.
Yes, that's all done, I believe. So, yes.
All right.
Hurry along.
Yep. So he goes clomping off. You can already see his gait is much better with the new shoes on. And you can turn your attention to Basil and whatever is concerning Basil and Sally. So, what happens next?
So yeah, I show this book. So these are notes from a reporter of the Paridar International.
His name is in here too, by the way.
Yeah, and his name is...
Wait for it. Basil, stop
Trevor
building up tension.
Burley-Burrow, Esquire.
Oh, Burley-Burrow Esquire. Oh, yeah. So this
So of course, one of our newest villains, for sure, a lawyer.
Oh, come on. So no, so this person is writing a story about how you are making an army of your kind to get rule of the city, and they will, I think they will destroy little Adam's life, and they will also destroy your fundraiser. And I think we only have two options to stop them. And the first is ask Golag or Doug for help. And the other way is asking Annabelle Carrington to write a more positive piece where you can share your side of the story before the other one is in public.
But I think we're just trying to cure the symptom here. This is just one item. We've got this ongoing campaign that seems to be against you, Dr. Espero.
Yeah,
So
but
quashing this will just be a temporary fix. We need to find who's doing it. We need to go to the source.
That is true, but the problem is if this article is out there, then people will come, and I don't think we have won anything if the second clinic was burned down as well.
I'm only just getting back on my feet from the last disaster. I thought after that brother Loeb was gone, we'd have some peace for once, but it seems not.
And I'm not sure that this is connected, actually.
But it's just one thing after another. Who would spread such a rumor?
We can't find out. But that person was, so this reporter was noticed or was informed when I got here with little Adam. So I don't know. I mean, how could they have known so fast?
You don't think it's these pesky birds that seem to be popping up everywhere we go?
That is one of the ideas I had, yeah. Maybe it's not connected to the Spires, but it's more like mundane. Someone from the, I don't know, the Ministry of Internal Security has still a grudge on us.
Or maybe Golag and Dax, like you say, may be able to help. I don't want this poor boy. I've only just started to get his confidence. I don't want him in front of the press.
That you could really stop the press. I mean, it could buy us a day, but that's it.
Sally, do you share your concerns about or is your perspective on the celebrity?
He doesn't strike me as somebody, speaking from experience, it can be quite a shock to be dragged in front of everybody as a spectacle. And it doesn't strike me that this young lad is up for it. He does not have the right temperament.
I don't really want to hide him away if I don't have to, but maybe until we get to the bottom of it, I can try and keep him busy at the clinic.
someone was willing to pay for that to be published, and that person will pay for it to be published somewhere else. I mean, it might take a day longer or two, so I just don't see how we could stop it, but it's your decision, not mine.
Otherwise, don't we go down the Dr. Green route
Yes.
and find a
Hopefully,
permanent solution?
hopefully Dr. Raycroft is going to try and set up a meeting for Basil. But have you?
Why would you talk to Dr. Raycroft about Dr. Green?
He's still got influence.
But
over.
the last time I was talking to her, she wasn't very fond of him.
No. Yeah. She's not really. They not the best working relationship, but he does have sway in the medical theatre. And I'm not so sure she'd be open for just a.
I think she's always open for a trade of information. The only question is what kind of information I could give her.
I was going to say, if you've got something to trade. Do you think you, talking about this reporter, have you got any contacts that might be able to find out who that snitch is, or the person who's being paid for this story?
Who paid the reporter? No.
I guess I could go and have a word with
You want to
Ms.
just-
Carrington.
Yeah, and
Maybe
so,
she's heard of interest and rumours and
Maybe.
anything scuttlebutt that's out there.
You guys could also do I think the challenge or the difficulty class will be probably pretty high, but you could also gather information. You could use diplomacy to try and find out who knows whether you know someone in the mail room or a rival reporter who hates Trevor, who may be happy to try and rat out where the information came from.
Okay, yeah, I could do that. Yeah. Well, that's okay.
Someone also has access to a vast and stretching information network.
Yeah, but
One that doesn't exist, of course.
Yeah, but my feeling is, if I use it each session, that maybe will come back to me in a very.
Are you suggesting they may call in a debt at some point?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I believe they call that foreshadowing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not even sure if it is not really the Whisker Network who is behind that, to be honest. I mean, they knew about this person.
But who would... What about the... who are you affecting, Dr. Ersprung? Is there anybody that's in competition with you? Anybody that could... Who is adversely affected by you? Now, it could be something from... that you don't know from your past, from your inception, as it were, but from your actual presence, who?
Maybe someone's worried about being discovered now that myself and Adam have met, and maybe starting to put things together to investigate where we came from. Maybe they want to keep their identity hidden and they want to make eyes look elsewhere, distract from people finding out the truth. That's all I can think of. I don't see how we're doing any harm to anyone.
So, no, but maybe it's even more. Let me put it this way. So, you have not told us about your meeting with Dr. Raycroft yet. So, I think Basil couldn't speculate. So,
Oh, no.
stop here.
I mean, he's happy to say that, we took blood samples, compared the work of the person that put us both together. It looks identical, the same person's handiwork. We're going to try and test the blood to see if that gives any more information or insight into our coming to being. But we need to wait for the results of that.
But the theory of the pupil and maybe the master.
Oh yes,
so
and possibly they're destroying previous work that they're not happy with, or there's someone, a student, who's trying their hand at creating patchwork people. But again, is it the teacher that then is destroying those creations?
I have a very, very far-fetched theory, but could we imagine that somehow someone helped to create you, and that now someone who was maybe the apprentice of that person has tried to replicate the original work, but failed?
You can think of, just to give context for that proposal too, the amount of things you would need to keep track of to perform a surgery or a procedure. I'm not sure you would even call it surgery, whatever procedure it is that would create someone like you, or those facsimiles or similar things that you found, similar persons, I should say, not things, in the various rivers around Paridar. It would be inconceivable to do that kind of thing on your own. This is not a simple matter of mending a wheel or there is extremely delicate work that would take hours to perform, and would require, to do it on your own, it would be Herculean effort. Even with two, that would be a very, very involved. So there's something to be said for that. You're aware of certain surgical procedures that just simply cannot be performed with one surgeon alone. You require a team of at least two, plus assistants and whatnot.
Do you think it's the medical corps that could be behind all of this, maybe? They're renowned for experimenting.
I somehow doubt. But
No.
No, I don't know. So their other creations, they were very. So if I understand correctly what's going on, they are building people that are specialized in a way. So you take someone who's good at one task and another one who's good at the other task, and then you build a new person out of that in a way. And the other things they build, these clockworks and so on, this was not the medical core, but the vampiric serum. This was more like to have let me put it, cannon fodder for the war, or so. The soldiers who can't be killed so easily because they're already dead.
From a strictly functional perspective, Dr. Ursprung, if you were in a position to perform a very complex and innovative kind of surgery that will go beyond simply the four corners of medical understanding, what kind of assistant would you wish to build if you could build one?
Yeah, surgical. Well, yes. It would be like a clockwork surgeon.
Or perhaps someone just like you. Genius.
It seems it's somebody jealous of you. They're not trying to kill you or anything like that on the whole, although you nearly get killed every now and then, but they seem to be trying to embarrass you and drive you out of business.
May I put another wrinkle in here too? The person who prevented, remember when you were accused of murder not so long ago? The person someone killed that man who was trying to destroy your activities. So in a roundabout way, while you did get accused of murder, they did in a way protect your interests, didn't they?
That was a female, if I remember
Yeah, but she has had someone of your kind, or of your size at least, with her.
Help.
And
Yeah.
post Brimarack, we had the point.
I wonder if I wonder if there would be any point in looking at sort of deaths of people around the time that I came into being. If anyone was sort of, maybe not disappear, but someone has had to have sort of died for me to come into
But you mean
being.
if looking for engineers and surgeons who died recently?
Potentially 5 years ago,
Yeah, and whose corpses were missing.
particularly specialists in engineering or medicine or something around that time, or two different people around sort of 5 years ago. Wonder if we could look at town hall records or some sort of records that may again shed some light on it. I don't know if that
I mean,
would help.
you were built at the end of the war, if I remember correctly.
The last years of it, yeah.
Yeah. So I think maybe that the records are more gray and it would be harder to follow. So.
Paridar has been a fairly industrialized place, like just from on a non sequitur, but I know that as recently as when we played Flames of Freedom recently, I was able to find names of all the Prussian, or at least a vast majority of the Prussian soldiers who served in North America, because they kept lists of all this shit. So if that's from the 18th century, Paridar is more of a cognate of the 19th century. So I don't think it's...
Okay.
Yeah, there definitely could be like obituaries or church records with the for funerals and whatnot that would have been performed, or the Hall of Records, like death certificates and such, would be required for inheritance and such. And someone who's working as an engineer or as a physician, they are more likely to have things that may have been filed, only because there would be a bigger estate to claim. If it was a dock worker or something like that, they may die and no one will give a shit about what they have to, what estate there is to lay a claim over. But someone of means, that's something that the kids or other relations can fight over, which means there may be a paper trail for that. So,
and they'd have to be of a similar time. It would have to be almost the same day, I would imagine, for them to be able to use a brain or something like that. So, yeah. So I'd certainly be interested in looking into those sort of records.
Okay. So yeah, let's do this.
okay.
But then again, what do we want to do about the newspaper?
If you think it's going to be difficult to stop, maybe I just need to shelter the boy somewhat, so he doesn't get word of it, or
I think we will have
preparing for it.
an army of people trying to storm your clinic in a couple of days. I mean, this Brother Loeb has already said you were an evil person, your clinic burned to the ground, and now there is someone else who has some faint evidence of things you do that are evil, also completely fabricated. It doesn't matter. I just don't see how this... I mean, right now, the people who believe Loeb, they are spread amongst town, and they are maybe... Yeah. But they will rejoice in this, and they will come for their revenge, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what's the best solution is. Maybe if the boy could stay with Dr. Raycroft, that would be easier.
Maybe we need to remove him from the situation temporarily, at least. But I'd need to do that on a more secretive There's obviously spies about.
Yeah, I mean, we could arrange for Golak to drive some certain rounds with his car, and while we take another cartridge to go.
That's more your expertise, Basil's stealth.
I think I could hide the boy and manage to get to Dr. Raycroft. That should not be a problem.
Maybe this evening, under darkness.
And you want to wait till the evening?
Well, do you think the story would get out before then? Do they not do their
I think they would
morning
do
papers?
don't they do an evening special, or it's not interesting enough for the evening special?
Do we know how often the papers sort of...
Evening, and there is a morning and evening edition of all of the major papers in Paridar.
And is this, are we sort of early afternoon now, or?
This was right after Sally and Basil sort of got up. This is after you returned from seeing Dr. Ersprung quite early in the morning, so it's probably not even noon yet.
Ah, okay. Oh, well, maybe you're right then, Basil. Maybe we need to accelerate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not to force you to do anything, but
No, whatever protects Adam's well-being is my forefront.
Okay.
Okay, so then, as we're our next, think forward on this. Our next session would have been scheduled on Christmas Day, so we're not playing on Christmas Day. So that means it'll be a month before we get back to this. Let's just so we can set the stakes for kicking off the second year of this campaign. What are we thinking of doing at the start of next time then? This will make it easier for us to revisit just before that session to see the last few minutes of this one to talk about what you guys are planning on doing next. What are you guys planning on doing as our next stage then? It sounds like we're going to be hustling Adam out of the clinic. There was some talk about meeting with Dr. Green. There was, is your plan to meet with Mrs. Carrington then and kind of do a counter initiative for the war in the press, as it were?
I think Sally could maybe talk to Annabelle Carrington if she would like to. Mm-hmm. Or Sally you could hide the boy as well, but I think you are more, I mean, even if you are stealthy, you would be recognized far more easily than me, I suppose. She
is quite stealthy, and remember, she rolled a nat 20 on her first interaction with him, too. So, Adam certainly loves Sally.
Yeah, so then maybe it is better if you get him there and I talk to Annabelle Carrington.
Okay. Yep, so I'll take him with me.
Okay. And then Sally will be having a dinner shortly with Mrs. Hunter.
And Adam, I have, that might be a long shot idea, but so I think we are looking for a female kind of genius in the area of medicine, maybe also transgressing into magic or something like that. Maybe there is such a person. Some kind of savant or so something like that, with very
cool skills and
yes.
I'd like to at least look at those death records just to see if there is any sort of names that would come up that might be related to them, the medical corps, or people in the army or something, or more civilian based, just to see if there is any ties.
Dr. Ersprung feel about finally turning his mind to finding the people that he may be made up of?
He's not very keen on it, to be quite honest. But he feels now that Adam's come along that he sort of feels duty bound to try and help him learn where he came from and protect him. He's got a very protective nature over him. So he feels like he's forced to do it now. But he's always tried to put it at the back of his mind and sort of keep busy with his engineering and looking after people so he don't have time to think about it. But now he seems it's like forced to the front of his mind and he can't get rid of it. So it's going to bug him until he sort of learns. So it's troubling him.
All right. So then that, I think, provides a good foundation for our starting year 2 of the Spires of Paridar campaign. So let me bring us to our outro here. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for Chapter 2 of the Patchwork Pauper mystery. We will be back, as we said in the course of the session. At the time of recording, we're 2 weeks away from Christmas, so we will be not playing on the 25th, but we will be back 2 weeks after that. One of the first sessions of the new year, in fact. So we will see you back in 2023. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us for this session. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, or you can find a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have a channel dedicated to this campaign and every other campaign we run on the channel. I will endeavor to reply wherever you post in a timely fashion. And in addition to the channel for the Spires of Paridar, there's also a ton of other channels on the Dungeon Musings Discord server full of very helpful and friendly people, so you are more than welcome to join us over there. There's a Find a Group channel that is currently putting together a group for the OSE classic or the old school RPG. So if you are looking to find people to play with, that game is looking to put together a group, as well as just usually people who are looking to put together some kind of either short-term or long-term RPG campaigns. There is also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America, and it is, as of recently, a voluntarily recognized unionized workplace, too. So congratulations to everybody at Noble Knight for the entering into a productive relationship with both the workers and the owners of Noble Knight. Noble Knight is not only an amazing source of hard-to-find and out-of-print, not only a great resource for new let's see here, RPGs, board games, and card games. They also have an amazing selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, including most recently in Gulf. I just sent the order off this morning. I have, Artesia or Aresia? Yeah, I got a copy of that coming to me now. Yeah, so because that is another one of those games that was hard to find. I managed to get it for less than cover price as well. Pricing of products at Noble Knight is commensurate with the demand. So if it's a really high-in-demand product, it's going to command a higher price. But that's it's no different than anywhere else you'd find online. But for those things that are not high in demand, they are very often priced at or below the cover price. I was able to fill a number of my collections thanks to their want list feature. You put the product on the want list and they will tell you when they get it in stock, and they restock fairly frequently too. Also, I suppose if you're looking to sell your games, they also can give you a pretty good price on that stuff. I haven't sold any games because I'm going to die in a pile of RPG books, I guess, but that is something that they do. And if you do purchase $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code MUSINGS or check back on a more recent video and see what the updated code is, because we change it over time, and you'll save yourself 10% on your purchase. In addition, in the description of the video, there's also a link to something called Heroes Save Villages. That's the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really amazing organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphan and abandoned children, including ongoing relief efforts at the time of recording in Ukraine and the surrounding countries. There is also all donations, I should say, that go through that link go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman, just goes to help help out the kids who benefit from their services. And as a small way of saying thank you, for every $25 Canadian that you donate, you will have a chance to win the grand prize or one of the other great prizes in our next charity raffle. We were going to have it in December, but December is flying by and it's been very busy on the channel, in addition to real life, I guess. So we're going to postpone that until January. But in January, we'll be doing the next charity raffle after our next charity session. And the grand prize in that is a copy of Beadle and Grimm's Platinum Edition Spelljammer Adventures in Space. We recently ran a couple of sessions using some of the material from that, and I've got some other, I'm going to be doing an unboxing with it. I have my own personal copy, but they've donated a copy of the $700 Platinum Edition for us to use as our next grand prize, as well as we've got some other stuff from them, from some other publishers. Our buddy Dave has, our resident armorsmith, has put together a beautiful chainmail dice bag to serve as a prize. We have some prizes from the Dungeon Musings Red Bubble Shop. So every $25 Canadian that you donate through that link gives you one chance to win one of those prizes. And if you don't win the grand prize, there's still a bunch of other great prizes. So in addition to winning some fun gaming stuff and having a chance to have a say in what we play in our charity sessions, because we often will solicit votes so people can vote on what the makeup of that adventure is going to be. You also have a chance to, most importantly, help out some kids who could really use some help. So all great stuff. The last thing I will say is a huge thank you to our stalwart illuminators. And seeing this is our last session of the first year of the campaign, too, I will say not only a thanks to James, Ingolf, and Darren for spending so much time in Paridar with me. Thanks to Sean, thanks to Carl, thanks to John for playing in for a time, and everybody else who has joined us in the streets of Paridar over the past year. This has been a really, really fun campaign to see come together. I am looking forward to see what trouble you guys get into in the new year. So, for those listening at home, again, thank you so much for joining us. And until we see you again, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that are unfolding as our heroes uncover the web of intrigue under the spires of Paridar. Until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.